I was 23, sitting cross-legged on cracked linoleum in a roach motel apartment that smelled like mildew and baby puke, trying to rock my screaming 1-year-old daughter to sleep while the Florida humidity turned us both into sweat puddles when my phone lit up with a text from my deadbeat baby daddy Jason. Yo, Soph, need $800 by morning or they repoing my truck. You got me right? For the baby's sake? The same dude who swore kids would make him step up, then stepped all the way out the door the second the umbilical cord was cut. I stared at that message, felt every sleepless night and every tear I ever cried for him turn into gasoline in my veins, and for the first time since he left, I didn't feel broken. I felt free. Because tomorrow I started my new job making $160K live-in nannying for Sarasota's hottest widowed billionaire, Daniel Carter, and the clown who left me drowning was about to watch me float so high he'd need a telescope to see me. Drop your city, and the second you realize the trash taking itself out was actually the best blessing in disguise. I'm reading every single one, no cap. My name is Sophie Monroe, 26 now, but 3 years ago, I was the girl who grew up as the factory-installed babysitter because my dad remarried a woman who decided the day she popped out real kids that I was just free labor. I learned before I even needed a training bra that love in some families comes with fine print and an expiration date. So when Jason, 6'3", sleeve tats, silver tongue, and a smile that could sell ice to penguins, looked me dead in my eyes and said, "Sophie, you're the woman a man builds empires for. Let's make a baby. I got us forever." I swallowed that lie like it was gospel because I wanted my daughter to have the daddy I never did. Reality check. The second my daughter took her first breath, Jason took his last ounce of accountability and vanished. My water broke while he was doing tequila shots at some dive bar on Siesta Key. He rolled into the delivery room 2 hours late, smelling like stripper perfume and regret, took one look at our perfect baby girl and said, "Joked," that she better not get my nose, then passed out snoring in the hospital recliner. 6 weeks later, he packed his Xbox, his Jordan collection, and bounced with the classic, "You strong, Soph. You'll figure it out," while I was still wearing mesh hospital underwear and crying in the shower so the baby wouldn't hear. Left me with $27 in the bank, postpartum depression that felt like walking through wet cement, and a colicky newborn who only stopped crying when I sang her the same 3 Disney songs on repeat until my voice gave out. I was circling the drain until Margaret, Jason's own mother, the same woman who used to look at me like I tracked mud on her white carpet, knocked on my door holding Publix bags and actual tears. Turns out Jason's dad pulled the same disappearing act on her 30 years ago. She looked at my daughter, looked at me, and said, "Pack everything you own, baby. You and my grandbaby are coming home with me today." She turned her guest room into the cutest nursery you ever saw. Woke up for 3 a.m. Feedings when I was too broken to move. Paid every bill and told me every single day, "You are not the mistake my son made. You are the miracle he lost." 9 months later, I answered an ad for a live-in nanny for Ethan Carter, 4-year-old little boy who hadn't spoken a full sentence since his mama was killed by a drunk driver 2 years ago. His dad, Daniel Carter's, owned every luxury dealership from Tampa to Naples, lived in a $16 million waterfront palace with marble floors and a pool that drops into the Gulf. The housekeeper Helen told me straight up, "Bring your daughter, Mr. Carter, don't care. He just wants someone who won't break his son's heart again." I walked in with my baby on my hip, kneeled down to Ethan, clutching his stuffed elephant that still smelled like his mama, and said, "Hey, sweet boy, this is my daughter, baby." She loves elephants, too. Ethan looked up with the biggest brown eyes I'd ever seen, reached out, touched my baby's tiny hand, and whispered his first words in 2 years. "She can play with Mr. Trunk anytime she wants." Daniel hired me on the spot. $160K salary, full benefits, company Range Rover, and the pool house turned into a 2-bedroom apartment with a kitchen bigger than my old whole place. Day 1, Daniel handed me a black Amex and said, "Anything these kids need, diapers, dreams, whatever, it's covered." I thought he was just rich guy polite. Wrong. 6 weeks in, Ethan was talking nonstop, calling my daughter My little sister, following me around asking for smiley face pancakes. Daniel started working from home just to eat dinner with us. Started asking about my past, my favorite flowers, the way I take my coffee like he was studying for a test he never wanted to fail. One night after both kids were asleep, he poured me a glass of wine on the balcony overlooking the moon on the water, looked me dead in my eyes, and said, Sophie, I watch you love my son like he came from your body. I watch you love your daughter through hell and back. Whatever fool let you walk is the dumbest man alive because I'd burn the world down before I let you cry another tear. Then he kissed me slow, gentle, like he was scared I might disappear. I kissed him back like a woman who finally remembered she was a whole damn prize. 2.5 years later, Jason crawled out the sewer when the streets told him I was pushing a new G-Wagon and living in a palace with ocean views, or I started blowing up every number he could find talking about, I miss my daughter, I've changed, we should be a family. Showed up drunk at Daniel's flagship dealership, teacher screaming in the showroom about his kid while customers live streamed the meltdown. Security had him in zip ties when Daniel walked in fresh from a $40 million deal, slid one arm around my waist, looked Jason dead in his bloodshot eyes and said, her daughter's father is standing right here. You're trespassing, bro. Leave before I buy this whole block and still have you arrested. Jason tried the courts for custody, hired a lawyer who spelled my daughter's name wrong on every document. Daniel's legal team buried him under phone records, bar tabs, 4 other baby mamas, 2 active warrants, and a DUI. Judge terminated Jason's rights when he no-showed the final hearing because he was too hungover, granted Daniel's step-parent adoption the same day. Last year, we got married on a 120-foot yacht at sunset. My daughter walked down the aisle as flower girl, holding Ethan's hand, both of them calling Daniel Daddy like he'd been there since day one. Margaret sat front row in custom Chanel, crying happy tears because her real daughter finally got the love she deserved. Jason saw the society pages, tried one last pathetic DM. You really replaced me that quick? I screenshot it, showed Daniel. We laughed so hard the baby in my belly kicked. Then blocked him on every app, including Life. Now I wake up in a waterfront palace that has my name on the deed right next to Daniel's. 4 beautiful babies calling me mommy. 2 from my body, Taiki. 2 from my heart. A husband who kisses the ground I walk on. And a bank account that would make the old me faint. Margaret lives in the guest house, spoils all her grandbabies, and tells every cashier at Publix, that's my daughter-in-law, the one my dumbass son fumbled. Now look at her shine. Jason? Last I heard he's sleeping in a 2004 Civic behind a Waffle House, asking strangers for cigarette money. So yeah, I went from crying on a roach-infested floor, praying the lights stayed on, to crying happy tears on a yacht, while my real family danced under the stars, and every sunrise over the Gulf now feels like God whispering, see, Sophie, I was just making room. Drop your city, and the day you realize the deadbeat leaving was the biggest plot twist blessing of your life. I'm replying to every single one because somebody scrolling right now is still crying over a man who wouldn't cry over them. Wipe your face, Queen. Your Daniel is already on his way, and he's bringing the whole life you prayed for on your worst day. Peace out. Stay chosen. Stay glowing. Stay making the ex wish he never fumbled the bag. Love y'all. For real.